The Sterling Hotel ballroom was really something with crystal chandeliers. They made shadows dance across the marble floor. This was where New York's elite came to the Children's Hope Foundation Gala every year. Amelia Hart was standing near the service entrance. She was fixing her dress for the third time that night. It was not her dress. She had borrowed it. Amelia Hart got a job as waitstaff for the night. This job paid more than her usual job at the diner downtown. Her mother told her to take this job. Her mother wanted Amelia Hart to make some money to help with the rent that was overdue. The Children's Hope Foundation Gala was a big deal, and Amelia Hart was happy to be working there. Amelia walked around with a tray of champagne glasses. She did not want to look at the people at the party. Amelia knew that people like it when the people serving them do not talk to them. She heard bits of what people were saying as she walked by. They were talking about money and their big houses in the Hamptons and the new plays on Broadway. This was a world that Amelia saw. She was not a part of it. She saw the people and what they did. Amelia did not belong with them. She was just serving champagne. The room near the entrance got really quiet all of a sudden. Amelia turned around to see what everyone was looking at. There was a man standing in the doorway. He was wearing a tuxedo that fit him perfectly. He looked very confident even though he was holding a cane in his right hand. His dark hair looked great. His face was really handsome with a strong jaw and high cheekbones. What really caught people's attention was his eyes. They were a gray color and they seemed to be looking right past everyone in the room rather than at them. The man's eyes were what people could not stop staring at. Those gray eyes that did not seem to be looking at the crowd at all, but rather past them. And that is what made Amelia and everyone else keep looking at the man. Christopher Blake had arrived at the place. The man, Christopher Blake, was now there. Amelia knew who he was from the newspapers. He was 32 years old and one of the youngest billionaires in the tech world. He had made his money from software before he lost his sight. This happened 3 years ago because of a condition that affected his nerves. The newspapers wrote about how he stopped going out in public. They said he canceled all his appointments and that people thought he stayed in his apartment all the time. Amelia had read about how he lived in a penthouse apartment. The newspapers called him a recluse, which means he did not like to be around people. Amelia remembered reading about the software empire he built. An older man who looked very important was standing next to Christopher. He was wearing a suit. James, the man who had been helping Christopher for a time, said something softly and pointed towards the big hall. Christopher said yes with his head, started walking. He was using his cane to help him walk. It was moving back and forth in front of him. The crowd moved away, making a wide path. Amelia saw that the women were holding their pearls and talking quietly behind their gloves. The men were getting uncomfortable. They did not know if they should help or just stay away. Everyone looked stuck. They did not know if they should feel sorry for the billionaire or just be polite. This was making a kind of wall around the billionaire that was harder to get past than any real wall. The blind billionaire was really alone because of this. Victoria Sterling, the lady who hosted the party and was always in the newspapers, walked up to him with a big smile on her face. The diamonds around her neck sparkled when she moved. She put out her hand to greet him, then quickly pulled it back because she forgot that Mr. Blake could not see her doing that. "Mr. Blake, it is really great that you came to our party tonight," Victoria Sterling said. She talked to him in a way people talk to kids or to people who are very sick. Victoria Sterling sounded nice, but a little bit like she was talking down to Mr. Blake. "Mrs. Sterling, thank you for inviting me," Christopher said. His voice was really deep. He sounded like he was in control. There was no friendliness in the way he spoke. Christopher was being polite because he knew he had to be. He was good at dealing with people, even though he had a time understanding them. Amelia was getting closer. She forgot that she was even holding a tray. She saw Victoria take Christopher to a table that was near the dance floor, but not with the other people. When other people walked by, they said hello, smiled, but they did not stop to really talk to him. They looked at Christopher like he was a picture on the wall, something that you can look at but not get too close to. Amelia thought that people were treating Christopher like something that you can see but not touch, like a thing in a museum that you just look at. The orchestra started playing a waltz that filled the whole ballroom with music. People got up to dance. They moved smoothly like they had practiced a lot. Christopher was sitting by himself at his table, leaning his head a little to the side like he was really listening to the music. He had one hand on the cane that was standing against his chair. James had gotten up to get some drinks, so Christopher was all alone now. The music was still. Christopher was just sitting there listening to the orchestra play the waltz. Amelia felt a pang in her chest as she looked at him. She knew how it felt to be invisible. It was like being in a room with a lot of people and still feeling alone. This was not the same for Christopher. He was not invisible at all. In fact, Christopher was really visible. People were fascinated by Christopher, also uncomfortable around him. All the attention on Christopher made him feel isolated. Amelia thought that all the people looking at Christopher did not really see him. They just saw what they wanted to see in Christopher. The tray shook a little in her hands as an idea came to her. This idea was probably unwise. She was a waitress at this party, not someone who was invited as a guest. It really bothered her that things were not fair. There was a man who really loved music. He had to sit through the whole night of people dancing without anyone asking him to join in. The music lover was just sitting there. It did not seem right to her that no one had asked the music lover to dance. Amelia put her tray down on a table. She rubbed her sweaty hands on her dress. Then she started walking across the floor. Her heart was beating fast with each step. People were starting to look at her. The other servers looked confused. The guests were curious. They noticed Amelia, the server, walking towards Christopher Blake's table on purpose. Amelia was walking towards Christopher Blake's table. She could feel people watching her. She stopped in front of him. She was not sure how to start talking to him. His head turned a little towards her. This was because he heard her coming. Or maybe he just knew she was there. When she got close to him, she saw the wrinkles around his eyes. She also saw that his jaw was tight, which meant he was always on the lookout for something. "Excuse me, sir," Amelia said. Her voice was steady, even though she was really nervous inside. "My name is Amelia Hart." Christopher's face changed. He looked surprised for a second. Not many people introduce themselves to him these days. They think he already knows who they are, or they do not like to talk to him. "Miss Hart," he said. "What do you need help with, Miss Hart?" Amelia said, feeling like everyone was looking at her. "I was really hoping you could help me out. This waltz is beautiful. I love it, but I do not have anyone to dance with. The waltz is a dance, and I would love to dance the waltz. Would you dance the waltz with me? I would really appreciate it if you would do me the honor of dancing the waltz with me." The question was just hanging there between them. People around the ballroom stopped talking all of a sudden. The orchestra kept playing music. Some of the dancers slowed down. They really wanted to hear what was going on. Victoria Sterling's fan just stopped moving. It was halfway to her face, and you could see the shock and disapproval on her face. It was pretty clear what she was thinking about the situation. With Victoria Sterling dot, Christopher did not move at all. Amelia thought to herself that she had probably done something wrong, that she had hurt Christopher's feelings or made a fool of him. Then Christopher started to smile. It was a real smile. This smile changed his face. It made him look like a different person. And for a moment, Christopher was not being so careful about what he was showing to Amelia. The smile made Amelia see Christopher in a way it made her think that Christopher was not always so serious, that he could be a happy person too. Christopher's smile made Amelia feel better. It made her think that she had not made a mistake, or that Christopher was okay with what she had done. "The honor would really be mine, Miss Hart," he said. He got up from his chair in a smooth way. Amelia put out her hand. Then she remembered that he could not see it. "My hand is right in front of you," she said in a voice, taking his fingers and putting them on her hand. His hand was warm and steady. They walked to the center of the dance floor together. The other couples moved back, making a circle of space around the man and the woman. The whole ballroom was really quiet, with only the orchestra music playing. His other hand went to her waist. It was like he knew where to put it. He held her waist firmly, gently. Amelia then put her hand on Christopher's shoulder. She knew that everyone in the room was looking at Amelia and Christopher. Christopher said to her in a voice, "I should warn you, I have not danced in 3 years." He spoke softly, his lips close to her ear, so only she could hear what Christopher was saying. Christopher wanted to make sure she knew that it had been a time since Christopher danced. Amelia whispered back, "To me, then, we will learn everything again together," she said. "Follow the music that you hear." It began to move. Christopher walked with a confidence that surprised everyone. His body knew what to do. even if his eyes could not help him. At first he took steps, but as the music got louder, his body just took over. Amelia started dancing with him. She felt like she was floating across the floor. Her feet were moving to the music and following Christopher's lead. It was like she was breathing. Christopher was a great dancer, and he still was even now. His movements were smooth. He looked like he knew exactly what he was doing. The room was really quiet at first. Then people started talking softly, and soon some of them were clapping. The other couples started dancing, but a lot of them could not help looking at Amelia and the man she was with. Amelia did not pay attention to this. She was looking at the man in front of her. She liked the way he looked, the way his face was not so serious anymore, the way he was smiling a little. Amelia was happy to see this. Amelia liked the way the man's smile made him look. Miss Hart is a good dancer, Christopher said to her as they spun around the shiny floor. He thought she moved beautifully, so he told her that Miss Hart dances well. You are like that too, Mr. Blake. I think you probably already knew it's about yourself. He laughed. It was a laugh, and it even seemed to surprise him. I used to be that way. I was not sure if that was still true about me. Amelia asked, "Why did you stop?" Then she felt bad about asking something so personal. "I am sorry," she said. "That was really forward of me to ask about the food truck festival. I mean, why food truck festival stopped?" "No," Christopher said. "I think it is nice to hear the truth. Most people are really careful around me because they think I might get hurt easily. The truth is that nobody asked me to dance after I lost my sight. I guess I started to think that I did not belong on a dance floor anymore. I mean, the dance floor is for people who can see, and I am blind. So I thought that I just did not fit there. The honest answer is that it has been a time since I danced with someone. I lost my sight, then I lost my confidence to dance." Christopher thinks that it is good that someone is being honest with him about the dance. Christopher likes to dance. He likes to be on the dance floor. After he lost his sight, Christopher did not think that he could dance anymore. Amelia felt angry. It was not because of him, because of all the people who had told him something that was not true. She thought about all those people. It made her feel bad for him. "That is their loss," she said in a voice. The music, they slowly moved apart. This time the clapping was real. It went on for a while. Christopher turned around, gave a little bow. Amelia curtsied to feeling a bit awkward in the dress that did not belong to her. Victoria Sterling showed up next to them with a smile that did not seem very happy. "How nice," she said in a voice that was sweet, but also a little mean. "Mr. Blake, I did not know you knew the people who work here. Miss Hart is one of the waitresses we got for tonight." Victoria Sterling looked at Mr. Blake, then at Miss Hart, her eyes fixed on the service staff. Victoria Sterling spoke again. "Miss Hart is doing a job, I think." The attention on the waitress was not really clear at first. You could not miss it. Some people sitting near them looked at each other, seemed to understand what was going on. Amelia felt her face get warm. Before she could move away, Christopher's hand took her hand again. Amelia looked at Christopher and the waitress. She felt bad about what was happening with the waitress. Christopher was still holding Amelia's hand. Amelia did not know what to do about the situation. "With Christopher and the waitress, then I am really thankful too. Mrs. Sterling," he said in a voice. "Mrs. Sterling has been very kind to me in 5 minutes, which is more than what I got from people who called themselves my friends for 3 whole years. I want to know, Mrs. Sterling, which of the people you have invited to your house was brave enough to just talk to me like a normal person instead of feeling sorry? For me, because of what happened to me?" Victoria's face turned red. "I just wanted to say that the situation is really strange." "The only strange thing," Christopher said, his voice loud enough for the people at the tables to hear, "is that it took a woman who works and does not have to worry about what others think to show me what it means to be a good person. If this makes someone look bad, Mrs. Sterling, it is not Miss Hart. It is the rest of us, including me, who should feel bad. The woman I am talking about is Miss Hart. She is the one who reminded me of decency, which is what Miss Hart did." The hostess walked away with a smile that did not look real, leaving Christopher and Amelia by themselves. Christopher turned to face Amelia again. "I am sorry for causing a problem. I think I might have made things difficult for Amelia at her job." Amelia said, "I think my job here is now." She said this, and then she laughed in a kind of way. "It was worth it," she said, talking about her employment at this place. Amelia felt that her employment was something that had to end, and she was okay. Was that because she thought it was worth losing her employment for? I want to make things right. Will you have coffee with me tomorrow? I am asking you to come as my friend, not because you work for someone. Amelia's breath caught. She said I would really like that much because the idea of it was very exciting to Amelia. Amelia thought that would be a thing for Amelia to do. The morning Amelia met Christopher at a quiet cafe in Greenwich Village. This cafe was far from the fancy world of the Sterling Hotel. Christopher came by himself. He used his cane to help him walk on the sidewalk. He found the table where Amelia was waiting. It was pretty amazing to Amelia that he was able to find the table easily. Amelia was waiting for Christopher at the table. Christopher and his cane were a sight to Amelia now. The Sterling Hotel seemed like a different world from this quiet cafe. In Greenwich Village, where Amelia and Christopher were meeting, they sat down to have coffee. It turned into lunch. Then they went for a walk in Washington Square Park in the afternoon. During this time, they had a conversation. Amelia found out that Christopher had started his company from scratch. He liked coding because it made sense and was fair. He said the social world was not always easy for him to understand. Amelia talked to him about her art. She told him about the paintings she made in her apartment. She also told him about her dream of showing her work in an art gallery someday. Amelia really wanted to have her paintings seen by a lot of people in a gallery. Christopher asked what kind of things I liked to paint when we were sitting on a bench. The sun was shining down on us. It felt really warm on my face because it was autumn. Things that people usually do not notice, Amelia said. A woman sitting on the subway and reading a book. The sunlight coming in through a window in the morning. The way shadows are on streets when it is quiet. He wanted to know about one of them, so I was going to tell him about one. He said to paint a picture of it with words. I was going to describe one in a lot of detail. He wanted me to use words to make him see one, so she did that. She told them about her painting of her mother. Her mother was mending clothes by the light of a lamp. You could see how focused her mother was. Her face was all wrinkled from being outside a lot, but she was sewing carefully. The way she was sewing showed that she was a dignified person. As she was talking, Christopher was listening carefully to what she was saying. He had his head turned towards her so he could hear her better. Then Amelia thought of something that really meant a lot to her. Christopher could see her. The painting and everything about her clearly than most people can, even though he could not see. The painting and her mother and everything were clearer to him than they were. Two people who could see fine. The weeks that followed were really tough. Victoria Sterling still remembered what happened at her party. She was not happy about it. People started talking about it in their groups. Some people said Amelia was with Christopher for his money. They thought she was taking advantage of him because he was a guy and had a lot of money. Others said that Christopher was not thinking clearly because of his disability, that Amelia was controlling him. The thing with Victoria Sterling and her party was still on everyone's mind. Amelia and Christopher were the talk of the town. The rumor mill was going crazy when a writer who shares news about people wrote an article that was clearly talking about certain young women and how they might be taking advantage of a billionaire who is blind. This billionaire Christopher got a lot of calls from the people who run his company, from family members who live away and never come to visit, and from friends who were suddenly worried about how Christopher is doing. Christopher was getting calls from his board of directors at his company, and from relatives who never really talked to him before, and even from friends who were acting like they really care about Christopher now. He did everything at once. He set up a press conference, invited all the big newspapers and magazines. Then he stood in front of the cameras with Amelia next to him. I lost my sight 3 years ago, he said to the reporters who were all sitting there. His voice was clear and strong. I gained something, he said. I got to see people for who they are. When you cannot see what someone looks like, you learn to tell if they are a person or not. Miss Hart is a person. She asked me to dance when nobody else would even talk to me. They all thought I was too weak. Miss Hart talks to me like I am a normal person. She tells me what is going on in the world without feeling sorry for me. If you think she is only being nice to me because she wants something, then you are the ones who cannot see things clearly. My sight is gone. I can see that Miss Hart is a good person. She is not like that at all. He looked over to where Amelia was standing. I have something to say. I am starting a foundation. This foundation will help artists who do not have a lot of opportunities. Amelia will get some money from us to help her with her art. She will also help us make decisions. Amelia Hart is very good at what she does. She should get help because she is talented, not because she knows people. The foundation is for artists like Amelia who come from communities that do not have a lot of resources. Amelia deserves to be recognized for her art. The questions came fast after that, but Christopher answered them all with a lot of calm confidence. When they finally walked out of the press conference, Amelia was really shaking. The woman told him that he did not have to do that. She said it like she really meant it. The woman said, "You did not have to do that. I did do that. I did it for you and for me. I hid for 3 years because I was scared that people would feel sorry for me. You showed me that it is okay to be open and honest about my feelings. Being open like that does not mean I am not strong. You taught me that being vulnerable is not the same as being weak, that being vulnerable is actually a part of being strong. That is something I learned from you and from my experiences with you and with me." 3 months later, Amelia had her big art show in Chelsea. Christopher was there with her when all these important people came to look at her artwork. He could not actually see the paintings, but Amelia had told him all about each one, so he knew what they were like. He remembered everything she said about her paintings, every word that Amelia told him. The evening was coming to an end. Now Christopher and the woman whose art was on display in the gallery were alone. The gallery was filled with her art. Christopher reached out, took her hand. He could do this easily now because he had been doing it for months. He said, "I have something I want to ask you." Amelia's heart was beating fast. She said yes. "I think it would be really cool if you could make something that people can see all the time in my building lobby." "Maybe," he said, stopping for a moment because he was not sure. "You could work with me on this project. You can make the pictures and things to look at. I can make some music to go with it. That way, it is not something people look at. It is something that they can hear too, and it can affect all of their senses, not just their eyes. The art you create and the music I make can work together to make something special." "A collaboration," Amelia said slowly. "That would really be something, Christopher. A collaboration like that would be incredible." The man said, "There is one thing that has to happen." He took a step closer to me. "The artist has to work closely with the artist's boss, which is him. The artist has to be with him all the time. The artist might even have to move into the studio that's in his building." He said the studio has natural light. Amelia, tears started to form in her eyes. She said, "Are you asking me to move in with Amelia at your place? I want to create something with you. This thing is art. It is also a life where you and I can see what is really important. We will both know what matters in this life that we are building together." She kissed him bad then and there, surrounded by her paintings in the very gallery she had always wanted. After they stopped kissing, she leaned her forehead against his forehead. The gallery, her gallery, was really something to her. The woman said, "I love you." In a soft voice, she whispered those words to him. The words, "I love you," were all she could say at that moment. Christopher said with a smile, "I know." He had figured it out since that night when I asked him to dance. That was the night I asked Christopher to dance. Outside the gallery, the city lights blazed against the night sky. Inside, two people who had felt invisible in different ways had finally found someone who truly saw them. And that, Amelia thought, as Christopher pulled her close again, was the most beautiful masterpiece of all. Thank you for watching until the very end of this story. If this journey moved you even just a little, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel. We share new emotional, true story-inspired videos every day. Each one deeper, more powerful, and more unforgettable. See you in the next.